This is Best Effin' Bets. Pete McCarthy in for Greg Ehrenberg. You're probably missing Greg after yesterday's Golden Sombrero. Hey, give us a like, subscribe, get involved here. Give us a comment with some of your best bets. We'll have more information on that. And if you haven't signed up for DraftKings Sportsbook, make sure to make that happen. We'll give you a great deal on that. You can check that out in the description of this video as well. We're about to get popping, right? We've got Thursday night football now, about 24 hours away. We've got week one, the NFL season coming up, or college football. So you want to be locked into OddsShopper here for all of the best angles and plays across the NFL, college football, and right here for Major League Baseball. A busy little Wednesday as we get things going here. Yesterday, not a banner day on the best bets. I'm sure you're all missing Greg at this point. 0 for 4 yesterday. That's all right. Look back at it. This is some bad luck. We had some bad luck. That's the way we're looking at that. Mike Myers, we got 5 2/3 innings out of him. Didn't get to the strikeouts. Jose Quintana said he wouldn't go deep. He did in only 5 innings, but still ended up with the 5 strikeouts. And we came half a run shy on the Rangers and Astros yesterday. And with Houston there, they scored 3 runs on Glenn Otto in 4 innings and then got shut down by the bullpen for 5. So, hey, we got to bounce back. We're not chasing it all in one day. We got to chop away at this thing. We got some good ones for you. A lot of pitching picks to look at here today. So let's load it up. We're going to start with Spencer Strider of the Atlanta Braves, coming off just an unbelievable start, right? Spencer Strider had 16 strikeouts last time out against the Colorado Rockies. So what are we going to do? We're going to go on the under on Spencer Strider. It's a big number of strikeouts that he has to reach today. 8.5 is the over-under. The Stochastics projections have him under 7 strikeouts in this game. I know he's coming off this great start, and you're going to turn around and say, take the under on the strikeouts. Well, let's look at more than just this past start against Colorado and see what Spencer Strider has been up to over the last few months. And he's reached 9 strikeouts only 2 times in his previous 8 starts. So 3 out of 9 if you throw in the 16 strikeout game against the Colorado Rockies. So this isn't exactly the norm that he is going out and firing off 9 strikeouts in a given day. You can find this under -135. We give it a 76% chance of winning, so you got a positive return on investment on that. The other factor that I'm going to throw in on Spencer Strider, look, this is a rookie pitcher, and while the Braves, Alex Anthopoulos will tell you we don't believe in innings limits, they're not going to shut down Spencer Strider, obviously, but you better believe they're cognizant of where his innings are right now. He's thrown more major league innings this season than he did in any minor league campaigns, college, anything like that. So they got to keep an eye on what's happening with the innings total, with what's happening down the stretch for Spencer Strider. Remember, the Braves are a team that want to play another 2 months worth of baseball, and they need Spencer Strider to be effective to do that. So you look back at this last start against Colorado, yeah, you had 16 strikeouts. He also threw a season high 106 pitches. That tied a season high. So what does that mean? Well, you're probably not looking at 106 pitches again today. More than likely, they'll be a little quick with the hook. And maybe that's a game where the Braves are up 5-0 after 5 innings, and they could sit down Strider. The bullpen is not overtaxed right now for Atlanta, even though they threw 5 innings yesterday. They had Monday off, so it should be all hands on deck in that Atlanta bullpen. So there's no reason for the Braves to stretch him here, to try to force 7 innings, to go 105 pitches again. I don't think you see that. And you look at the trend line on Strider as well. 9 strikeouts is a long way to go, even coming off of this terrific start against Colorado. So I feel comfortable against the Athletics, under 8.5 strikeouts here for Spencer Strider, and we'll get this thing going again. I'll tell you all about DraftKings and the deal that we have for you. If you haven't signed up for DraftKings Sportsbook, get in on that. This is the amazing deal that is set up for you right now. If you put a $5 bet, $5 on any college football game or NFL game, they're going to throw $200 in your account. I mean, I'm no mathematician, but $5 to $200, that's a nice little win right there. So if you haven't signed up for DraftKings Sportsbook, take advantage of that. You can click the link in the video description below and claim your free $200. Again, all you need, $5 bet. You could do Thursday night football. You could hit a game that you like on week 1. We have tons of content coming your way. Some of the best bets for tomorrow's season opening game. And then, of course, week 1. analysis will be coming in the days ahead, so stay tuned to OddsShopper for that. But jump on this deal if you haven't already. $5 bet, you get $200 back from DraftKings. And again, that link is right below in the video description. All right, looking at another pitcher here, another over-under on the strikeout line. And we're going to turn to the Tampa Bay Rays' Jeffery Springs. Now, Springs isn't a guy who gives you a ton of innings, but the strikeouts have certainly been there for him. We're looking at an over-under of 5.5 strikeouts. We're projecting him at over 6 strikeouts. It's stochastic. And the key here is you're getting plus money on it. You can find it plus 115. Be sure to check out OddsShopper to get all of the latest lines and where you're going to get the best line of all the sports books out there. So be sure to check that out. He's going up against Boston here. And look at the trend line for Jeffery Springs. At least 6 strikeouts in 5 of his last 6 starts. Again, this isn't a guy who's going 8 innings, but he's racking up the strikeouts as he goes along. He's going to need to get these strikeouts early in the game. For what it's worth, he took on the Red Sox 2 starts ago, punched them out 8 times. So they also hit him up for 5 runs in that game, but we're just looking for the strikeouts, and the strikeouts are there in this Boston lineup. So make sure you get the plus money on this. Make sure the odds are in your favor here. But over 5.5 strikeouts for Jeffery Springs. We got the trend line. We've got some success against this exact opponent recently. Some things to like as far as that goes for Jeffery Springs against the Tampa Bay Rays. All right, next up, another over-under on the strikeouts here. We're going to go to the Giants' Alex Cobb. He's done a nice job for them overall this season. Tough matchup against the Los Angeles Dodgers. We've got a pretty low over-under line on the strikeouts at 4.5. He's projected for about 5.5 strikeouts today, so we got a little wiggle room as far as that goes. You can find this minus 120, and we give it a 62% chance of coming true. You look at the trend line for Cobb, he's had at least 5 strikeouts in 8 of his last 9 starts. So, again, the trend line is there. 2 starts against the Dodgers this year, 6 strikeouts and 8 strikeouts. I'm not going to make a bet strictly off of that, but it helps a little bit. Again, you have the trend line. Something in September you got to pay attention to with all these starting pitchers is, hey, is this a young guy? Is he going to be limited? Is this team in the race? The Giants aren't in the race, but Alex Cobb is a veteran. He's been around. He's not a guy you got to limit. You got to baby down the stretch. So I think Alex Cobb, he's going to do his usual amount of innings. You can look at what he's done over the course of the season and see that the strikeouts have been there. And he's not a big strikeout guy, but we're only looking for 5. He's consistently been able to do that. And even with a relatively tough matchup against the Dodgers, we like this, especially if you get Joey Gallo in the lineup for LA. So keep an eye on that when the lineups do come out. One more pick for you here, and this one I love. This is a mix of looking at our power rankings and our MLB betting model at Stochastic, and also just looking at it a little bit of a trend line, but more of a story behind it. So we're looking at the Marlins and the Phillies. The Marlins, you can find them at plus 140 on the money line, which is what I like. So the data is going to tell you that there's an 8% return on investment if you take the Marlins tonight against the Philadelphia Phillies. So where I find this intriguing is with Trevor Rogers of the Marlins, their starting pitcher, right? So Trevor Rogers has been terrible this season. He's got a 5.5 ERA coming in, hasn't been able to figure it out, but he is coming off the injured list a couple weeks back, had a number of minor league starts. Some of them were terrible. His last minor league start, he went out, punched out 12 over 6 no-hit innings, okay? So maybe he figured it out a little bit. Remember, this Trevor Rogers, he was an all-star last year. He had 2.5 ERA. He has some ability. So, okay, so things clicked for him there. He came back off the injured list, started against the Tampa Bay Rays. Pretty tough opponent. What'd he do? 6 innings, 1 run, 5 strikeouts, season-high 10 ground ball outs. A lot of things to like in that game. What we also like is what he had to say afterwards, that the start was huge for him mentally. He said, I felt like a little kid just jumping up and down. It finally felt good out there. So here we have a pitcher with a lot of talent. We saw that last year when he was an all-star, who's been off. His mechanics have been terrible. He had some back spasms, ends up on the injured list. Maybe he found something now, right? He's got a relatively tough matchup against this Philadelphia Phillies lineup. But if I got an all-star pitcher on the mound, I'm getting significant plus money, a plus 140. Going up against Bailey Falter. It's a nice job for the Phillies, but he's a guy. He's just a guy in the rotation. I like my chances at seeing if Trevor Rogers can return to form here and put up a big night for the Miami Marlins, get things done. You could look at strikeout lines of Trevor Rogers if you want, but I see some positive things here happening, and maybe this is a guy who could flip the switch. And if you got a big-time pitching advantage matchup, I'll take that with the Marlins, even with the lack of hitting in the lineup at this point in the season at plus 140 against the Philadelphia Phillies. That's one that I really like. So our best bets for the day. Check out the Marlins plus 140. Like Trevor Rogers in that game. Alex Cobb over 4.5 strikeouts. Jeffery Springs over 5.5 strikeouts for the Tampa Bay Rays. And then fading old Spencer Strider under 8.5 strikeouts. That hurts a little bit. I really like Spencer Strider, but not getting it done today. And I think there's some pitch count issues that he'll be dealing with against the Oakland A's. Remember, of course, if you haven't used our great limited time offer with DraftKings Sportsbook, be sure to jump on that. A $5 bet on any college football or NFL game gets you $200 in your account. So you can check that out in the link in the video description below. Appreciate you joining us. Be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.